Hey friends, Jason here, checking in on gold again. Absolutely beautiful day. The sun's calling me. I definitely want to be outside experiencing some nature and some forest and some birds and some just natural beauty, and I'm really excited to go and do that. So I'm doing this video early. It's a few hours before I normally do it, but I'm going to be outside at that time. So let's take a look at gold. Here's our 5-minute time frame, and this is where we left off in the last video. We did get a bearish break on that ascending wedge, so we were on point with that, and we set a new low around 1293. Didn't get a lot of continuation though. We got a 5-minute trend change right away. We set our higher high over our previous high around, what is that, 1298.204. And now we've set this 5-minute uptrend. So there's our resistance line that has held for us. This was from the ascending wedge. Acted as resistance again, but by the time we get up there, we've got to worry about something else, and that's that 1303.364 resist. That's the current high on the hourly time frame. You can see that a little more clarity right there. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and delete that ascending wedge on the 5. Call it a good learning lesson, and we're going to start zooming out and taking a look at what we can see from here. So on the hourly time frame, we are in an hourly downtrend. We're setting lower lows. We did get this nice push to the upside, but I'm really concerned about 1303. So still an hourly downtrend for me. And what we need to do is confirm that hourly trend change by establishing something higher than this low of 1293.138 and then getting a new high back over top of 1300. So what that would look like would be something like this. And after that, who knows? Possibly coming up to test 1303. So what part of this narrative would support us testing 1303 as a resistance? Well, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we are in what you could argue would be a bull flag position. We are slowly trending to the downside over here, and we've got ourselves, I'm going to try and draw that a little better, a nice tightening range, and we've got a big flagpole. So this does fit loosely a bull flag situation. Now, if we do get a bull break, it's going to come, I would hope, relatively soon, and then we're going to test that high 1303. If we get over 1303, we see good follow through on this potential bull flag. 1310 is our next resistance. So that's one possible outcome. And as much as I want this to break bearish, just because I've been having a weekly and monthly narrative, got to be open to the fact that things change course. Even in the short term, as you know, you have trends, you have counter trends, and you can have bullish moves inside overall bearish moves. That's how this game works. So potential bull flag here on the 4-hour time frame. I would not want to see this develop too much further. We've already established this big range. So let's jump to our hourly time frame. See if we can draw in a trend that might help us establish this with a little bit more conviction. This is what I'd be looking at currently for our resistance. Only 2 touches on that. And then what I'm going to do, because I don't have a nice bottom shaped up yet, you can either just draw a trend line connecting these 2 dots, or what I prefer to do most of the time is I copy the direction and slope of my confirmed line, or in this case just 2 touches, and I just drag that down to the lowest point, and then I use that to establish my channel. So this way that you can see that we are in that hourly downtrend until we break out of the trend. This fits the narrative, that 4-hour move until we break to the trend and move to the upside, in which case we're going to hit that 1303, 1310 test. If this fails and we continue to the downside, what we're going to be looking for really, let's see, probably just a continuation of this trend. And then on the 4-hour time frame, that will take us slowly but surely back down to this test. Now, if we fall out of this 15-minute pattern, let's take a look at that again. Or was it an hourly that looked a little bit better? There we go. Nice hourly trend. Now, if we fail to break to the upside on this move and we don't see that 4-hour flag and the 4-hour flag fails, what is likely to happen would be a loss of our trendline support. And then, you know what? Our 4-hour pattern support level, because it's a form of resistance now acting as support, is the next target. Now, if we do hit that, as you might remember from previous videos, it is an expected back test, and we want to see that happen for long-term upside moves. So we're waiting cautiously to see what happens. Currently, 4-hour bull flag potentially setting up here. We've got a nice trend to watch, so keep your eyes out for that. Support would be the loss after the loss of our trend line here, would be right around 1285 for support, and resistance 1303, 1310. That's it for today. It all comes down to how this bull flag plays out and whether or not we get that beautiful back test that we really need for long-term sustainability.